Let's begin working on this beautiful terracotta set, a mustard motif terracotta set. I start off with a slab of 0.6 centimeters in thickness and I smoothen this using my fettling knife. Using a cookie cutter, I cut out the desired shape. This one is for the earrings. The slab thickness for earrings are typically 0.3 centimeters in thickness. I smoothen this again using my fettling knife. Using an even smaller size cookie cutter, I cut out a pair. These are for the beads. Again, these are going to be very heavily textured beads that resemble that of a Rudraksh bead. I'm just applying a little bit of water so that they don't dry out. Now the beginning few beads are basically the fourth size. I've used the fourth size in the jhumka mold in order to get that size, and the bottom few are using the fifth size in the jhumka mold. This is just done to get a bit of a gradient. So what this roughly would mean is the bigger beads come closer to the pendant and the smaller beads go away from the pendant. This is how I typically measure out beads. I roll these into a small ball and then using a hand comb, I repeat the rolling process so that the texture is made. I do have detailed videos. I'll try and link something similar in the description box, so you can check that out. Using a brass pipe, or you can also use a toothpick or even a ballpoint pen refill, you can make holes. I'm adding ghungroo beads to the pendant. The pendant is rather simple. I've just done a few margins on both the pendant as well as the stud. The hook that I have used for the pendant is gauge 24. We let this dry completely, and once the set dries, it's fired in an electric kiln. And after it's fired, we can begin painting upon the set. So if you see, I've already got a head start. I've actually painted the Rudraksh beads in a combination of brown and orange, and that's it. I've actually left that aside. We'll be focusing mainly on the pendant and the studs. I will link the video to how you can paint these heavily textured beads that resemble a Rudraksh in the description box, so please don't forget to check that out. The colors that I'm using are black, red, white and yellow ochre. These are the brushes that I'm going to be using. I start off with the red. I paint the margins and then I follow that up with mustard yellow, or rather a yellow ochre in the center. Once the yellow has dried, I start off with a black dot right in the center of the pendant. Then using white, I begin to draw out the motif. It's a really easy pattern and it turns out beautifully if it's done well. It's not at all complicated, and you'll obviously see that it's a very easy step that I follow. This probably gives you a better view of how the design is actually done. I am using my liner brush for all of these. The design just looks so pretty, and when all the four corners basically come together, they just look even more nicer. I'm just adding a little bit of black to the four corners of the pendant. I'm repeating a similar design on the earrings as well. Obviously not as detailed as the pendant, but something a little simpler. Adding a couple of white dots on the portion where I've painted black. Now that everything has dried, it's time to varnish. This is the product I use. Give it a good shake and transfer a little bit of the contents into a bowl or a container. And using a broad bristle soft brush, I begin varnishing everything. This is a time-consuming process because even the beads will have to be varnished and it'll have to be done one by one. Although mine, the product that I use is a quick drying varnish, it doesn't mean that it dries instantly. It does take some time. So once the varnish is basically dried, it's time to assemble. I use E6000 for the stud posts. I give it a good press, making sure that it is intact. I'm using a black nylon cord which is of a thickness of 3 to 4 mm. This is a basic form of assembly. You've probably seen me do this a bunch of times. This is the manner in which I'm assembling it. I knot the end so that the beads don't move. I add a wooden bead. I insert both the cords through the wooden bead. This bead will typically help me adjust the length at which I can wear the necklace. The idea is for the bead to be not too loose and not too tight. I knot both the cords together. Give it a good pull. Just making sure it's really, well done. I trim off the excess. I do intend to make tassels. I will leave some tassel making videos in the description box so you can check that out as well. This one is just going to be a brief, it's not going to be very detailed, so using a gold thread, a creamish gold thread, I just wind it around the maroon cord, and there you go, the entire set is ready. I'm pretty happy with the way the set has turned out. I really hope you all enjoyed watching the video. Please do let me know what you think of the video in the comment section, and as always, I'll get back to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for watching.